This is a test donation for $27.
Alrighty. Cool. What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? Apologize for the lighting situation. That will be rectified fairly soon. Plan on getting that taken care of within the week. We'll have better lighting, and that way we can start using the cam more. But back to the good shit.
You're doing specials like 18 fights.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's super long. I love that moment. So when this transfers over to like modern fighting games, it's always kind of fun. Like
I'm
where
a little bummed, like, I didn't play the latest KOF bosses, but I'm a little bummed that they're not that hard. Like, it kind of sucks. It does suck. I was telling like my friend that works, I'm like, come on, man, make it harder. Like, I don't want to beat him in the first try. That makes me sad, right? Yeah. Like modern design sensibility, that's like the weirdest thing. Like to do that. Again, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but make it unlockable. Make it like I want to rip my dick off difficulty. Like, let's go. Like, let's get the classic SNK wildness in here.
like whoever programs the AI in SNK, like Kyle difficulty in Kai, find that guy, that guy's equivalent at SNK, and name the difficulty after him.
Friggin' Kyle difficulty would teabag you after they knock you down in between rounds and shit.
Why would he do that?
Like, why would you put that in the game? And they took it out. They later took it out.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
No.
For KOF 15, I could see like final team is Team Maximum Impact, and you have like two maximum impact characters, and you have a maximum impact boss.
Cowboy guy?
You could have the cowboy guy soiree or whatever, but the bosses are like Duke, who's like, pretty SNK-ish.
Sure.
And he's just a big burly guy in a suit and whatever. Then you have that weird dude, like magic guy that has limb stretch, Javatma. And like that's your final one. Yeah.
The depths of his soul.
Yeah.
To improve my technology, I will pay you
White suit,
well.
and he's got like dark gray skin, and his limbs stretch, and he has like blades on his feet or some shit like that. Anyway, so that's my pitch, SNK. It's gold. It's it.
Yeah, hopefully, right? We'll see. But hopefully you can get to see how Advanced Strike is going to work because their KOF finals are coming up next month. So yeah, I'm kind of curious if that's going to change like kind of like the meta and everything like that. And also, yeah, hopefully we get some City Promo stuff, like maybe probably Evo. And speaking of Evo, they finally released their announcement a few days ago. So yeah, really excited.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, right? Right, all the new games comes out, and obviously the retro title was a little game called Third Strike, which is really. Justin, you have a high chance of taking that shit. You were going to Japan with Chun and like taking wins in 3S against like people that do nothing but play 3S. I was. You're not wrong. But there's just a lot of players. Depends who comes, right? I think that's the main issue. But I definitely am going to go to Evo Japan though, and play Evo Japan and practice against Third Strike. So speaking of that, so yeah, for anybody that's like, Third Strike is the official game in Evo this year. It apparently is running on arcade, but we don't have a lot of like actual news on that. And we were saying, I think earlier in the podcast, where it's like, how can they do Third Strike? Because you can't do Anniversary Collection, you can't do Online Edition, you can't do Fightcade emulations, you can't even do like a mixture or some crazy thing like that. You can't do that. It's technically not legal. And then I realized, like, back in the mid-2010s, Capcom re-released, you probably saw these in Japan, Justin, they re-released Third Strike, like, Super Turbo and, like, Alpha 2 or some shit in arcade hardware. They were on, like, Nezuka systems or something like that. So it was like a collection of classic games that were re-released, and we were thinking, oh, they're going to bring these out. They were making a video about it back in, like, 2014, and they did. It stayed in Japan. But there were brand new arcade boards, like specifically for classic Capcom games, released for like modern arcade hardware. So I'm like, maybe they're gonna use that. Maybe Capcom has like a whole bunch of those. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be really hard to use that because I feel like people will still find a reason to complain. Oh yeah, no matter how no matter how awesome Third Strike is, we can talk about how great it is. The players they're very picky when it comes to. Oh, it's pretty much Fightcade or bust. Yeah, it's really picky. Even talking to like other Dirt players, they're like, yeah, I don't like playing on Fight Game because I can feel like 1 frame or 2 frames off. I'm like, what? Like, it's so good. Like, Fight Game is like amazing for Dirt when you're playing it online and stuff like that. But at least for Evo Japan, it should be really easy because obviously all the arcades still exist and they have all the Dirt cabinets, just like how they would bring their cabinets like they had last year for Cooperation Cup at DreamHack. I'm pretty sure it'll be the same kind of formula, but yeah, the USA, not sure how that's gonna play about. But knowing Rick, I'm pretty sure he will make sure that Dirt will be at like its purest form.
And there's even more convention space for it this time around, so when it's flying in hardware-wise, certainly more room this time around, right?
Yeah, and Rick made the announcement that like the arcade space last year at Evo was pretty big. They brought in like a ton of arcade cabinets, like 50 to 100 arcade cabinets. I was like, yo, what? And apparently that's up to way more now. So I'm like, okay, if you guys can afford to do that, then you can also afford to just bring in a bunch of like Third Strike arcade hardware, get some super guns and shit hooked up to them, get some USB converters, and allow people to play. And they'll probably have like a breakdown of like what controllers, which arcade sticks work, like which fighting boards work with this stuff, and they'll have to like tell you. Because 99.9% it has to be on arcade hardware now. And I just didn't think that they'd be willing to do that. I'm like, this is a logistical fucking nightmare. There's no way, and it turns out they might be, which is like, damn. Well, if they're gonna do this, they're doing it the right way.
It's the lore because this is the 20th year anniversary of Evo Moment 37. So yeah. it's like they kind of have to pay homage to it, I guess, right? That's like what they're going for the vibe. And even Rick was saying this is like kind of a more of an old school Evo in terms of like how like there's no arena, it's 3 days, you can go in, come out.
It's like a Rio or a Bally's Evo.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really exciting because like that was my issue with Evo the last few years was like, yeah, after Friday, Saturday, I'm bored as hell. I'm just in my hotel room watching the finals and then waiting until it's finished and then go to the bar. Right? Yep. So that's literally it. So
and for me, like the first 2 days wasn't enough to see everything or like hang out with anybody that I wanted to. There's still like half a dozen people, or it's like, oh, where do you want to meet? The convention space is closed now. We can't, whatever. So 3 days is the perfect amount. It's just enough.
So Justin, I have some questions for you. Based on your experience in Third Strike, like Japan, right? How is the game looking? Like, you obviously are going against some of the best caliber players, sticking to like most of their guns, right? But what's the overall balance of the game looking? Because obviously Chun-Yu, historically are pretty dominant, and you have quickly right behind this Ken and several other characters like Yuri and Unblockable Bullshit. Like, so what is the game looking like?
I would say, you're still right on the money. The only other two characters that would probably add to the equation will probably be like a Yang and a Makoto.
Yeah, so Yang's always been good. It seems like he's getting better, right?
Yeah, he's getting better, or people just have a better understanding of like how to kind of like use them in more situations, how to mix some people properly more. But I would say because of how the tournament format's going to be, it's like 2 out of 3, double elimination. It's still probably a high chance that we'll probably see Chun.
A lot of Chun and Yu.
In the top 8, right? But I would say Makoto can slip in for sure.
She's a robbery character, so she can all of a sudden, like any strategy you have is fucked. Like it's a command grab,
Yeah, like with Tominaga, like best Makoto in the world, like he's really awesome to watch, and I feel like he would possibly make top 8 as well too.
Yeah.
I really hope Hayo shows up because I never lost to anyone really bad except for him, and he beat me really bad, and he beat me with Hugo.
Whoa. So I saw those matches.
He beat me 5 straight with Hugo.
Whoa.
Versus Chun-Li. And
that's heavily favorable for Chun.
Very, very heavily favorable for Chun. It's just that he uses his Gigas Breaker, the way how he uses like Super Art 1.
Yeah.
He can react to like any normal.
Christ.
It felt like a macro. It felt like he had one hit for 720 and just came out. And I couldn't believe the amount of times he pulled out that 720. So I really do hope that he goes to Evo and show up, because I think he would be so awesome to showcase Third Strike to a lot of like people that probably never seen competitive Third Strike before.
Yeah, seeing the reactions from like hit confirming like supers and stuff like that, like the actual reactions apart from old Capcom games, how minor the buffer windows are, it's like And even Third Strike is a bit looser compared to even Alpha 2 SD and stuff like that. But still, it's wild to see like, oh, you're reacting to essentially 14 milliseconds of the startup of this move with like 2 360s. Like, what the fuck? What is happening here?
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll see a lot of like different variety, because thinking about like all the best players from like Europe and America and South America and Japan, it's obviously still going to be like kind of similar characters like Chun, Yun, and Ken, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's Evo, and obviously anything can happen. Brackets, obviously luck can happen. So we can definitely see a lot of variety as well too. But if I had to guess, I think Chun and Yun will probably dominate.
Yeah, I think we have to remind people that like the big team tournament stuff from Japan that we've been watching for like high level Third Strike is very different. You know, having like everybody play as like suddenly Alex wins. Oh God, is Alex hit? Dude, no.
Love Alex.
I mean, he has won those big team tournaments from Japan, which are really fascinating. But the structure of those tournaments allows for crazy shit like that to happen. And when it comes to like when push comes to shove in a typical 2 out of 3, you know, sort of situation, normal bracket, Third Strike boils down to the typical Third Strike top 8s most of the time. So, but we'll see. Like it'll be cool to see Makoto's in a top 8. It'll be cool to see like even Ken hopefully show up. I hope he does. But ultimately, like it's a lot of Chun and a lot of Yun, and hopefully some disruptors. You get like a Urian in there that's just really good at shit. You get a Makoto, you get some Ken, you get some like you said Yang. That'll be neat. And then you get some wild shit. Like all of a sudden there's a Hugo. It kind of reminds me of like the Marvel finals. These games have been played and they are really figured out. Things are being discovered. But we know what works, and there's a reason we know it works. Yeah, and these games were not balanced ever, so there's good ample reason why they are played the way they are.
Yeah, it's old games. So old games, in terms of like characters overpowered, they're really overpowered. So
yeah,
compared to modern games where mechanics really can kind of like help close that gap.
Oh yeah.
Can we ask Rick when he has time if he can organize Devo for us?
Have all these scripts, right? Talking about Devo. Yeah. I mean, all the side tournaments do have their own separate stream, so you're gonna see a lot of other kind of games that are gonna be community ran based. Will be on like a separate Evo channel, Evo stream as well too.
There should be always one that's in the bathroom. like a different variety of games.
Yeah,
just trying to pigeonhole.
It needs to be the size of like an Evo ballroom, but it looks like a bathroom.
It's a giant.
It's a something one big toilet. So there's toilets and sinks and tile everywhere. It needs to be like a Comic-Con style.
Like Street Fighter Alpha Tuesdays.
Stalls or whatever. And the stalls are everyone gets a stall, you're at stall 12, sir.
Before I keep on with that.
So speaking of one of the games that are going to be at Evo, Mortal Kombat 1, obviously, haven't had the best limelight of lately, but they did release it and as a cameo. But the cameo seems like it's really powerful, and everybody's using the cameo right now. Right?
You guys were saying like to me earlier last week or something when we went off the air or something that like everyone's using her, she's super good, and it's like one of her best assists. It's just was everything.
Yeah, it's like you do like a string that crumbles or like puts them in the stagger state, and you can use the bandlet to get the jump in and continue the combo from there. Just like you can probably need like 2 times to get like kind of like a little thing going on. Think of the bandlet that's like a air version of like Serena's like double boomerang assist type of thing, where you just like twice, right? But she can do other things, like she has a monthly version where she does the jump attack as well too, which is really cool. Yeah, but I personally haven't touched Mortal Kombat 1 in a very long time.
Yeah,
cannot tell that I have not played as any DLC character.
At the time of this podcast, which is we're recording, Peacemaker also got like a release window, which I think is later this month. I think it's the 28th. So it's like right after that, and then also like Brian Cobb's in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is great. So it's always fun. And it's hope he's not like a Robocop function, you know. And if he is, then the fastest jump ever, dude. Holy crap! If it's just like a Robocop, and we don't have a Robocop team character or like that kind of an archetype in MK1 yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he is that. If that will do nothing for the game, right? I don't know. If he's truly excited about Peacemaker in general, but if he is that, woof.
He's gonna be like Deadshot or something. Because like Peacemaker is just a guy.
I know.
He's guns.
I know.
He talks shit though.
He does talk
He
shit.
talks shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I'm not saying he's funny when he's talking shit.
God bless John Cena that's voicing the character. For some reason, the dude playing Homelander is confirmed multiple times that he's not playing Homelander, but that's crazy. He got his face, but not his voice. That happens very rarely nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like the 2000s, that would happen a lot. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but like Peacemaker, no, nothing against him. I enjoyed the couple episodes I watched the show, but it's like probably the character I was looking forward to the least.
Yeah, I never watched that show.
I saw the movie though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the movie too. It's good in that.
Yeah,
It's just-
he was sick. Yeah.
Just guy with guns. It's like, well, can we just have Aaron Black again? That was pretty cool.
I like her, but
Yeah, no, it's cool. That's what I mean.
yeah, he was sick. I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe there will be a lot of the other fixes that people are talking about, like I heard of like the RSD syncs and stuff like that. I haven't got a chance to play, so I can't really say like, oh, that's been happening on my part. So it's kind of unfortunate to see. I see a lot of people just like, yeah, we're not going to run tournaments until NRS fixes it. So that really hurts a lot what the competitive scene for NRS, and they're still doing their NRS esports stuff. So I'm not sure when those finals are up, but I mean, it's going to be a EVO, so I think that should get like a jump in terms of like competitive drive for a lot of people. But yeah, hopefully the people at NRS will fix all these issues that they've been hearing about from the fans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think something is eventually something that everybody loves is super fun. You know.
Yeah, it was really fun. You know, I know why it all messed up. It's because they nerfed my boy Baraka, bro. They nerfed Baraka, and that was it.
But you're not wrong, because it's like
That's it.
after that patch, things kept getting worse.
Yeah.
I think it was
Cyrax was the beginning. Cyrax hit as hard as he did was like the beginning of oh no. That was like the start of it, and unfortunately, I think Mortal Kombat. Here's a lukewarm take. I think Mortal Kombat 1 did a good job at making us think that there was a lot of freedom and creativity in the game, right? Making us think there is, and then you start playing it a bit, and you realize how stifled the majority of the assists actually are. Like after a couple of weeks, and then most characters' strings are just you're doing the same thing, like a lot. Like the same combo, the same thing, like over and over again. It's like, it's starting to. Where's this feeling? It's just feeling like it's not that exciting to watch. It's fun to play, but it obviously isn't super exciting to play. It's like you're like, wow, there's some hype moments and stuff. There's actually no moments in MK1. Believe it or not. If you think about like the moments of moment combat, there is no big like this happened. Like that's like a fatal blow, I guess. That's about it. Like, it's mostly they call it an assist, but so as much as crushing blows sucked, there were
I was
moments.
gonna say, absolutely, there was something that really unexpected that could happen.
Exactly.
Hard to do.
And they broke up like this sort of like really straightforward, almost like 90s approach to what the gameplay is. Now it's like obviously fighting games need to be engaging in like some big moments. You need to have more three-point spent. No, they were now they're getting a count like that doesn't exist. Like there isn't like I punched their assist so hard that they're on the ground popping blood and they won't until the next game or some weird shit like that doesn't happen. It's mostly straightforward in terms of what its game plan and gameplay is providing.
Yeah. So hopefully they fix all that type of stuff. So we'll see. And the next thing just came out literally right before we filmed this podcast. And its gameplay trailer. He's finally out, boys. How do we all feel about the high pitch, fast boxing stuff?
When Ed first was revealed or it came out for Street Fighter V, that's when I kind of almost pretty much gave up on the game until the last season where some cool character. When I saw Ed's design, I was like, no thanks.
Didn't play it at all.
Yeah,
Put him on fine.
I don't think I downloaded it. His default design, I hated it so much. Just Bison Trooper.
Yeah.
Like that slightly more stylish Bison Trooper, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't really like this. This trailer did a lot to me, like, oh, okay. Alright, now just fully stylish boxer with, like, Nero's arm.
Yeah.
And I can snatch it.
Cry-ish.
So now I'm kind of on board. I'm still not 1,000% behind his default look, but it's way better. Obviously, fits with Street Fighter 6. So I'm interested.
All right.
It's certainly more interesting to me than both Rashid and Aki were.
How dare you?
Sorry.
How dare
I still like Aki though, just not my
It's
style.
the same vein of like kind of weird characters with weird gameplay. You know,
your character with game?
Rashid's gameplay definitely got weirder. Then in SF5 it got more complicated and kind of like he's not the same kind of character anymore. And then Aki was the epitome of weird gameplay, but in my opinion, super fun, way more fun than Rashid. So I'm hoping that Ed's gameplay is the same as like Aki. Whereas like I'm not really interested in this character, but if they're managing to do something that's just fun, I'm down. There is good news. And this is good news for me personally. I hated that Ed was essentially a modern control character in SF5. I was then immediately was like, I don't know if I want to play this. It's just weird, like holding down buttons and all this like shit. I'm like, I don't know. That's stuff I actually don't like. They announced that modern control Ed is back, but the classic controls have motions now.
Yeah, that's actually it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people who probably love Ed or played Ed competitively, I don't know if they will like. I'm curious on the conversation or like what people think about the difference between that, like because it's a huge change. It's not just like kind of like 1-2. It's literally like a complete reverse.
Yeah.
New stage too, as well.
The stage is great.
Yeah, because both Aki and Rashid used existing stages that were just kind of sort of themed towards them. So a new stage is always nice. When you have a new stage, there's almost like if whatever company is making the game can always put one in, always put one in if you can, because it just freshens the game up a little bit visually. Like it's something new for people to look at. So I always appreciate that.
So yeah, you were mentioning Max how he's like classic controls and everything. He's gonna have Shoryukens and Hadoukens. Motions, right? The classic motions. So that's already a huge change. Another second huge change is that he doesn't kick anymore. He actually has no kicks at all. All his kick buttons are replaced with like sways or flickers, kind of like how Steve Fox. Yeah, he literally is like Steve Fox with the flickers and stance, because he seems like in the trailer that he has a stance kind of thing with like his Dempsey roll. And I find that really interesting because that means he's sort of like 3-button character, maybe, with like 3 different kind of unique special attacks, I guess. But yeah, super excited to see, because obviously I think when it comes to the supers, they're pretty traditional, right? Level 1, hit. Level 2, cycle ball is featured in 1.
It all looks great. Like,
Yeah,
genuinely, I think all the DLC
Level 3 is hype.
I think
Yeah,
all the
sandbags,
characters look great so far. The problem, I think, has been the distribution and choices. It's like casting, right? It's like a casting director. I think in terms of fighting game roster casting, this is a very whack-ass first season of DLC to put into Street Fighter 6. We should have gotten like 1 or 2 of these characters maximum, but the fact that like 3 out of 4 were that, and then obviously Akuma. Like, Akuma is where everybody's just waiting for fucking Akuma. Like, it's just where the majority of focus is.
The first character should have been like a Sagat or like like a sexy character.
Something.
Third straight character, great choice, and then 2 like new characters or fresh dates, whatever you want to say, and then like another legacy character. Like technically adding the same legacy.
We literally got 3 returning Street Fighter 5 characters, and Aki as much as she is, and she also is. So It's rough, man. People do not have fond memories of these characters specifically from that game in like a general capacity of non-hardcores, right? So I think that if we were to like rate this first season of DLC, I rate it really low. It's like a 4 out of 10. I think the choices here sort of put people on a snooze fest of their first DLC like choices. I just hope that they know that and they're like, okay, so we were aware of this. Our second season's gonna be a massive banger. Hopefully we'll see it at Evo or something like that. I hope that happens.
Yeah, and I hope whatever the season 2 will be will not be leaked, so it makes them
So it's actually
more deflating.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope so too. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. That the only way I feel like season 1 will be saved in terms of like your number will go up. If Akuma is, yeah. That's the craziest thing ever. But
Even Akuma, get him a crazy boss fight. Like actually make him like a really dope, like the way in Street Fighter 5 with some of the bosses do that. Like give him a wild ass shit Akuma boss fight or something like that.
that would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
You can't just put it into World Tour mode like you can do with the other characters. Can you like be friends with Akuma? Like, how do you understand?
He has a style.
Yeah, it might be like Pokemon, bro. You go into like this cave to fight, Mewtwo and everything like that. It should be like that, bro. That's how it is.
You can't be giving Akuma gifts. Like, how are you supposed to sell that? That's like the Undertaker.
What do you mean he's so deep into the animated movie?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, that's what I'm saying, like, Max, like, crazy boss fight, they put it in as the crazy end boss fight of, like, season 1 being completely for World Tour. That sounds like a great idea.
Test your metal. All your fighters are worthless to me. Go fight him, beat Akuma's ass. Like, cause he's gonna beat yours first. Like, there needs to be some big culmination of, like, the end of this season with this single player content, and also, it's the most popular Street Fighter character, potentially in the whole goddamn roster.
Yeah, I mean, and then if the season 2 rolls around, maybe like a new region gets added into World Tour mode, like a new environment to explore, and that's basically it. Like, you can filter in the rest of the characters that happen in season 2 in there, because now it's getting crowded. In Metro City and in the other country, I forget, made up a stand. Like, now there's too many Street Fighters everywhere. Just shoulder to shoulder, so yeah, maybe we can do it.
I'm actually kind of worried. I was reading the PlayStation blog with like and everything, and maybe I'm reading too much into it. So like he formed this group called Neo Shadow News, like this was a new like Shadow and everything, and they're like he's like recruiting all these other like freaks. That has
People that were
experiments on. So I'm just hoping that
Necro.
It didn't seem like for nefarious purposes. It didn't seem like he's being built up as like the new Bison or something like that. It seemed like for like not bad guy reasons.
yeah, I guess I don't want to see kind of like personally like these random characters like jobbers or anything to be as part of like
Fault is
DLC.
back.
You know? Yeah, that type of thing. So I don't want that. I hope not.
No, but at the same time, like, I think Neo Shadow was hinted at somewhere in Street Fighter 5, I forget now, but like, yeah, that's kind of also weird, because we don't need another new faction. There's just, the groups in Street Fighter not too much. Like, we don't need groups and concerns and Zaibatsu, it's like this type of thing. But like, there's just too many going around. We don't, not everyone needs to be in an NWO, you know?
Okay. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, he's coming out February 27th, so I'm pretty sure we're just gonna try him out and give our feedbacks, how cool he is or how weird he is.
You want to try them out?
So we're gonna check it out. But Matt, tell me about this Arena Fighter Netcode Warrior. That's literally the name of the game, Arena Fighter Netcode Warrior.
This was announced today on the time of this recording.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a new arena fighter called Netcode Warriors. The character designs are done by the original Digimon designers, but like, they're all the hyper, like, last final evolutions, so they'll have cool armor and shit. And they make rollback netcode a big part of it. I guess if your game is called Network Warriors, it has to be, but it actually looks pretty sick. It's like, very superhero-esque, like, anime-looking heroes, and they're doing cool air combos and shit. And right now it's announced for PC only.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks, so people just moved us, a few of us in, me, Kenny, I think Max as well, on Twitter about this like right before we started, and I was like, "Whoa, this looks pretty cool!" And out of nowhere.
So as a heads up, this was a game project that I was approached a few years ago on, and I don't want to say too much, but this was finally coming to head. It's coming to fruition. It looks cool. It looks like a lot of style to it. And I believe, I have to think back to it, I believe they asked me for likeness rights. And of course I was like, sure. Like, no issues. Like, if anybody wants to do that with fighting game stuff, I literally have, like, no problems as long as you, like, you ask me and stuff. So,
Yeah.
We'll see if something eventually comes to fruition, if that eventually happens at some point in the game.
Max, if you turn into this Digimon monster,
It'll be just like real life, bro.
yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
They're spotted into most games, where people make Victor close enough to you anyway.
Fucking stupid clip.
That's amazing clip.
Alright, so I mean, I'm pretty excited. It looks really good. Like, you had me on Digimon, because once I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, it does really have that Digimon vibe and everything.
Yeah.
And it looks like your attacks feel good.
Digimon are the champions.
It's like Digimon crossed Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely make sure we'll check this game out whenever it comes out and everything like that. So yeah, thanks for that. And now the other game that has we've been talking about, and they finally have a demo. Sega versus Capcom, the demo.
Oh shit.
Full playable demo, and I think you only get to play 2 characters. That's X and Sonic.
Yeah, but those are the characters you want.
Right, X and Sonic, and it felt really good. Like, I played for like a few minutes, and I thought it was really good. Obviously, it's just like a super early, probably not an alpha. In terms of like how combos work and everything, probably doesn't really make too much sense because there's no like flip out or it seems like there's infinits everywhere. But in terms of like how these characters were made, how they feel when you press a button, it feels really amazing.
It does.
That's good, because it doesn't have that crunchy indie game fighting game feel. It doesn't have that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great. I haven't had a chance to try this yet, and Lynn Kurosawa's in like the core roster when it eventually released it. This is a fan game, by the way, for anybody that's like, fan base Sega versus Capcom. What the hell? This is a fan game. Fans were just like, we'll do it ourselves, and it actually is like unique characters, unique anthems, unique art style. Like, it looks really cool.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, when I booted it up and like Lynn wasn't one of the playable characters, I was sad. Darn, but like X and Sonic makes sense too. But yeah, no, it felt good. It did. Like, it does feel and kind of look a bit like Tatsunoko, like how it controls, but it's not. It's not like a one-to-one translation of that or anything. But that was the closest like similar game to it. But yeah, I hope they can continue developing this and nobody gives them any trouble.
Sega or Capcom and ChiLL, you guys shit, you didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't see anything, but also I think the one cool thing is the music's really good. I think they had Internet, the one that made Third Street. He's actually made the music in the game, which is really cool. So I'm super excited. Hoping they release more characters because I personally want to play them here. So that's like I'm waiting for
Axel for me.
Yeah, Axel for me. So yeah, I'm really excited, and hopefully they release like more stuff, and because I think the feedback's pretty positive for the most part, for all the fans and everything. That like this is like such a really good fan movie. Right. So let's see. And the last thing is this artwork from Capcom. Capcom is coming next week. Somebody will get $1 million for playing fighting games, and this is before tax, obviously. So yeah, eventually you can get sad next year. But someone will win, and
This art sucks. This art sucks, and it shouldn't be on the box art of anything.
Everyone should be just Luke making a dumb pose. I love Luke's voice actor. Alex is the best, but this artwork is so goddamn good. It is everything it should have been. New gen, old gen. Their arms are literally circling each other, so they form a fucking six.
Wow!
Fuck you. So, at the end of the Egg trailer, right, with this artwork in mind, this has been like 2 weeks now since it's been out, this artwork. And at the end of the Egg trailer, they still show the old box art And I'm just like, oh, when are we gonna switch this? We have to switch it in season 2. When season 2 rolls around, like, please, God, please.
Well, usually they have a new box art for. I mean, this is during the Xbox 360 games, where you actually have to buy the updated version of the game. So they did have that, but I feel like we might be in a different era where that might not happen anymore.
So, like, when Street Fighter V had Champion Edition, they had
Yeah,
Ryu and Chun-Li. Great box art. Yeah,
that was a while. Yeah, that was a long time.
It was a long time. What was the final version called?
Champion Edition.
Arcade. What?
Was it called Champion Edition?
The one with Gil on it.
That's Champion Edition.
Yeah.
So what was the one? Was there one that was called Arcade Edition? Or
Yes. You were right.
Which one was which?
The physical, so the first one was Ryu, this.
Yeah.
And then Arcade Edition had like, I just looked it up.
Chun-Li.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Chun-Li on the front doing the cool pose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one
The
was
Champion Edition.
was like Gil. Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me like is
No, Arcade Edition was Akuma. It was.
Oh, yeah.
Pose. Yeah, that what you're thinking of is the Championship Edition one. And also, that was the final one. It also had Gil in the background.
Okay. So that's like 3 distinct eras, and I'd like to think that they like there's no way to have them.
Ah. 3? Hold up. Gotta do 3 of those? Ugh. Yeah, some of these duos fuck out of stock. Straight up. I'm about to say, yo, we gonna get it in, my boy? I'm waiting on you.
Several research firms
Oh!
working on a miniature graviton ChiLL salvage tech. This stuff is badass. It's like a black hole in a jar. My scans indicate that the JLA is holding them in this police
Here we go.
station before moving to a more secure location. That's why we're here. Get that technology for us. Request assistance!
Oh, munitions character. They're fine. Oh.
The audience isn't impressed.
Oh, dude, I would love to get fucking Star Sapphires.
All smoke and mirrors.
When I see you cross the street, my whole body gets weak. Alright.
Man down!
Oh. Oh shit. Black Canary's over here. Sorry, man. I'm fighting these people over here, bro. Can't let me behind, bro. Ah. Nigga, you ain't gonna fight that Black Canary? Oh my god.
No pain, no gain, right?
My boy said, fuck Black Canary. I ain't with that bitch. Man, he's gonna let me fight it by myself. I'm healing, my boy. I'm doing that.
Going to make it a fight. I felt far worse. No pain, no gain, right?
Woo! Bruh. Let's go, fam.
Don't cross me.
Oh, shit.
Request assistance.
Try harder. You fight sloppy. You fight sloppy. Try harder. Try harder. You're finished. You fight sloppy.
Okay.
You fight sloppy.
bust you before you can leave.
I just gotta wait for my partner to come back. Oh!
No more holding back. You're strong, but I'm stronger.
Violent rage.
End this now. Your villainy ends here. You're just an overgrown bully. That's not nice. You're just an overgrown bully. You're strong, but I'm stronger. Conscious. But sadly, we don't have
G
time.
fucking G, man.
Looks like most of the Justice League is on their way to that police station. I'd recommend a hasty exit.
Nice. Okay. So quick break so we can eat. In the house 11, please. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Ryan Simmons that you just would never want to mess with. And I'm sure he ain't the winner. But let's talk about one of my favorite WWE moments. And shout out to Ryan Simmons too, because that moment meant a lot to me when he won the World Championship from Vader. We don't have to talk about the title run, but when he won the belt,
I mean, that's kind of being amongst the Black World Champions. Like, it's always better than the one. The moment is always
Yeah, exactly. And it just, the reign never lives up to that moment, right? And Ron Simmons, like, I've seen, like, Barry Windham and Brian Dustin Rhodes and all the white boys of the day carrying him as he won the world title and looking genuinely happy for him too. It wasn't like the white guys were like doing the yuck face, or it was like I could see a little bit of hate coming out. It was like they looked happy for this guy.
It's only impossible if you don't try it.
Opposite of the young face, it was the yin face, like they was happy.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Bloody heroes. Bloody villains.
Let me get this on
Puppet Brainiac is doing us all a favor by thinning the herd.
And Star Wars said they was giving that nickname in 2016, bro. But
Yeah, I'm the back of the Royal Rumble lifted up his head.
you know, like
And I wanted to give a shout out to someone who I've interviewed in the past and who I'm not like friends with, but friendly with, and that's Ahmed Johnson. Say what you want about him and some of the outrageous stuff he says. He says a lot of it. I'm not going to defend that. But his IC title reign, when he won that belt, meant a lot for a lot of black youth during that time, including me, you know? Because even the IC title, this is before the IC title became the de facto default black guy, black mid-card belt, right? And it's just passing it around to anybody black that they want to put the world title on. When Ahmed Johnson won that belt, it was like after years of black folks could not even being able to win the IC title, you know, JYD. Some of that was JYD having his own issues, but a lot of that was them not winning. A lot of wrestlers had the same issues that JYD had, but wrestlers were white and JYD just wasn't getting it, right? Because rules are different for us than it is for them. When Ahmed won that belt, it meant a lot. You can clown on him as much as you want to. If he says something outrageous, I would say that's outrageous. But I'm not gonna be one of these people like I'm not into the conjecture or into the where people saying like, yeah, who's footing where Ron Simmons beat his ass backstage. You know, that shit does nothing for me. It just doesn't. Like, that's been a problem with wrestling, and that spills over to Vince McMahon and all that other stuff, you know. Like, it comes from the top, all that toxic culture where you're like, making the Miz do squats and kicking him out the locker room because he got fried chicken on your shirt. That's a bitch ass move. I don't like the moves, but that's a bitch ass move. You don't do that to people. Y'all are grown ups. And Ahmed Johnson, getting backstage fights. I'm never gonna celebrate that kind of crap. I don't care how much I like the wrestler. I just do not. I think there's better ways of solving issues, Nate and Andrew. That's just how I think. But Ahmed Johnson, and he's one of the, maybe we could get him on this show. I just don't want to get him on the show. And Brittany's gonna have to be on top of the censors and stuff because that's. Everyone's gonna be sensible. We saying all kinds of stuff, man. But yeah, he's a pioneer. And then also, people saying, "Oh, Ahmed Johnson sucked and stuff." This thing was doing like, he was like 300 pounds doing like top crotches and stuff like that.
That was a hell of a finish.
And the was good. Like he wasn't going to sit there and pretend that he was like great, but for what he was definitely serviceable. You know, I know it was in 1996, 90, the end of 95, most of 96, and part of 97. It was like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Ahmed Johnson was like probably third from the top. You know? he was that over. You know, he was like, he was supposed to get world title shots, but he got injuries that prevented that. And you know, I think somewhere along the way, the company lost faith in him. I think with him and Ron Simmons, it was a situation where they're both the big bad black dude backstage, and you know, they're going to do one, and I think they were fighting. Yeah.
And I think what Chris is trying to say is, for the longest time, and it's not being personal, but for the long run, there were only 5 categories. Right? I love Chris. Chris coach, get some right. Come on, Ray. Coach. This is like, come on, Tony. That a black woman could be slotted into in wrestling, particularly when we talk about the WWE. And if you'll allow me, no ice off for a second, I would like to bring those 5 categories back. Now, the 5 categories that a black performer was allowed to play in WWE, because there were only 5, goes as follows. Number 1, angry black. Number 2, heavy no nothing. Number 3, old school stereotypes. Preachers, pimps, hustlers. Number 4, new school stereotypes. Conceited athletes, rappers, thugs. And of course, English favorite character. And black performer with no backstory whatsoever.
Athleticism. That's, yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, they doing Ricochet dirty with that one. Damn.
When I say these things, I'll certain wrestlers about this doing certain things and showing very fun time that he had with the show following big passion like that. So like show talking about very glad that I actually went to a segment that they feel Vince McMahon would go to Shelton's house and have dinner with his family. And eventually Shelton, which I think played the whole members of his family, except for another one. And like I get the joke with that.
Stupid.
Shelton. But like, it's that I just think that they're good. I think they're good. Successful. If we went to accomplish that, that's a better.
This about Shelton Benjamin and the mammy stuff, because it wasn't a mama, it was a mammy. And I'm saying, and shout out to Dia Vidal. I'm trying to get her on the show forever, been trying to get her. But Shelton, I heard the interview that Andrew said, I heard you say this on Chris Van Vliet, that you like that mammy shit. You didn't like that mammy shit, my nigga. You didn't. It was Vince McMahon playing a Jedi mind trick on you to get you to happy and being on TV and doing something. That was garbage. It was complete garbage. It was throwback garbage. It was garbage that you think that we, society, grew out of, man. You got this woman being your mammy, taking you off, wiping drool off your lips, like scolding you, when what's the leaders flirting with you, treating you like the treating us, because this is it reflects on us treating us like the worst kind of caricature on the planet. It was not cool, and I'm gonna help you with this and just say you did not like that. You did not like that shit. You did. So just you did, my brother.
Like great, like you mentioned it, and I kind of like this is when I went back and looked at when I was like this mentioned when I was covering it. I remember, and I think this was the interview in I think it was the WWE on Fox with Brian Sack. Yeah, it's when I first heard talk about it's not one of the like
It's not enough I am uncrowned,
be
but
about
now
it. That machine and wrestling.
your presence is nothing but a reminder of my
I think it
betrayal.
was
All
like
false
it
kings
work out. I don't know about
makeshift
like
throne.
just quick
Ixion,
I just
former
wanted to know
ruler
like
of
flash
Thessaly,
like I
controls a
but I
rebellious
had
sect of shades and wants to
like
rule all the undead. I
like
have heard of the defeat of Zeus and that the god of monsters
stuff
now
like that. And
reigns.
that's
I assume that is why you are here, because you need my aid. Very well. Free me and help me regain control over my domain, and I will consider it.
Yeah, like something like
Positive, I think we got super time.
When he first moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, when dealing with the gangsters, I would see him from time to time. Yeah, so we gotta put some respect on Demo. And of course, I'm gonna have to put some respect on the man on this shirt later on, because his title reign meant a lot to me as a kid as well. Yeah, man. So it's all these moments, man, and all the stuff, and the stuff that we have to work through to get to these moments. It's yeah.
First of all, hold on, time out, because I don't think you appreciate what just went down in your dream.
What do you mean? Let's hit it stride.
You saw a young goat in the bacon and Patrick Mahomes right there. This Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, here on Post Wrestling, you witness the birth of another young goat in the bacon, and that's his name. It's two. I'm trying to get two. Wait. Right? What workshop that?
I can't.
I can we'll work on the hand sign, right?
Trying to take down like some white water thing. But this happens, I got some of this. I was like, talk about it, but things. Yeah, to me, in my opinion, best referee for last year. Like, yeah, the range she had, I think the fan was still down. She started getting backstage, like, they're involved in what involved in that whole thing and they are. Like, I talked about it. Solid for last year as well, but she got the opportunity. Like I have station and like the
underworld is returning.
I think not. But I don't playing the Jesus, being positioned to where it's like a it's a very cool stat to like, and then I know a lot of like they kind of had this about it where they put that like okay, something fucking up like that. Yeah, it's a very powerful thing.
Almost as prideful as the king of the gods. At times I do relish
With
my
the whole
role as
thing,
tormentor of the dead.
big back play 20 people, whatever like that. I think that's a good thing. One thing that I think definitely did that. Anything or anything that you expect of her and had expect of her, the last out of the job there and like mention it's funny mention rock now.
I am weak no longer. The underworld will be mine
Friday, gotta be comfortable. They just shot me.
I have enough strength to defeat one such as you.
Sasha Young made it's a awesome moments, yeah. And the thing is with Kofi,
Hold on, but one second, Chris. I want Brandon actually to join us. Yes, where I think, it's a reason why this was the cover photo for this month's episode. Because I think there's something so special about Kobe Bryant. Come on, right? There's something special about Kobe Bryant, Chris. Yeah. In this thing, and I remember going on with John the way that he was talking about the nuanced storytelling that he was doing at the time, where the work in his mind, like this man called him a couple of
Now in hell, as it was above, Ixion, you are an impotent lord, and truly reign over nothing.
Twice as hard.
Be wise for helping me regain my
this man called us two dudes, a couple of young bucks, the three dudes rather, called them 5 young bucks. And people online thought it was a young bucks comparison, and we were like, what the hell? This is straight racist shit, man. It's a term. Strapping young bucks is what they used to call slaves back in the day. Vince McMahon knows the shit. Vince McMahon knows what young bucks are. So that was remember that, and then culturally, it's like, I don't know if it was you that's his first name, or I called him the way to kill him that week, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna listen to shit like this, that's not a world championship. Right. Like, I had to listen to them call Booker T a nappy-headed hoe back in the day, and now I'm listening, Thug, and now I'm listening to these fools call Kofi and Biggie and Xavier Woods strapping young bucks. I was like, okay, if they put me through this crap, it's happened, brother. It's credit they did do that. And then, and it was like, and shout out to Daniel Bryan as well, but there was so much subtle racism and some overt racism leading up to Kofi winning that belt that I didn't think was necessary, but it's WWE, and this is what we're gonna get, and I never fought the wrestlers for them, even if I like Thea the Dog, I love her as a comedian. I like the short-lived sitcom she was on in the 90s. And she's a pioneer. She's good at her job. But I don't it's like but for T, I love him, but I like when they do this kind of stuff with him, brag about how much you got paid for it and stuff like that, that's fine. But this kind of shit is antiquated and it needs to stop. And it's not like it just happens with black wrestlers. It happens with any kind of ethnic on that roster. Like with Drew McIntyre, like that brother like was doing his thing. And he's like, now that they're gonna main event him and all that stuff, they can't think of anything creative to do with them. It's like, okay, we can give you a kilt and a sword and make you look like fucking Braveheart, and this is how we'll get you over, you know? And then they did that with Jesus Christ, Jinder Mahal. Like he was doing a good heel angle at the beginning, and Vince McMahon came up to this brother. It was like, why don't you talk about how horrible Americans are and all this? You know, just like why don't you reach for them?
All right, I'll be right back. third. Ooh, wee. Alright, so now I gotta death metal kick. Huh. Really? Huh. So I need to focus on restoration of dominance? Huh. Okay. It's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Huh. Alright, let's see. How long have we been streaming for? Only half? I think we can stop now. Yeah, we can start right now. Good stopping point. Thank you all for tuning in, hanging out. I will see you dudes later, and as always, stay golden.